afternoon, students, and welcome to the online class of Social Studies. Now, children, we will begin with the new chapter of civics part. The Union Government, the Legislature. This is the chapter of civics and chapter number 18. The name itself reflects that in this chapter we will read about the government structure at union level, or the union government, and the different governments working subordinate to this government. So students, in this chapter we will study about the union legislature, and the union legislature is called parliament. The Hindi word for this is Sansad. In our country, which is a very diverse country, and diverse word here means diverse in language, religions, customs, traditions, lifestyle, climate, conditions, and geographical features. It becomes difficult to have a single unified administrative setup. Therefore, we adopted for a federal form of government where there are various levels of government. Underline this line, children. Various levels of government. And what is the aim of the federation? The aim of a federation is to bring unity in diversity by harmonizing the opposing forces so as to achieve common national goals. In a federal structure, there are different levels of government: national level, state level, and grassroots level. Yes, in our federal structure, we have different levels of government. At the national level, we have a central government. Central government, that is one, not more than one. At the state level, there are different state governments. That is each government meant for an individual state. And at the lowest level, or the grassroots level, we have rural as well as urban local self-governments called local bodies. Each of the 29 states in India has a government of its own with a governor as the head of the state. Now, every state is governed by a council of ministers headed by a chief minister, who is also called the head of the government at the state level. So you can see that all the three levels are interconnected to each other. The topmost level of the government in India is the union government, or the central government. It is also called the national government. Children, note one thing very clearly, that union, central, national, they all are the synonyms of one. The union government has three organs: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Like our body has different organs, same as government has different organs for its proper functioning. And just like our body, the work of taste is meant for tongue. The work of smelling is meant for nose. The work of viewing is meant for eyes. So The different works of the government are meant by its different organs. An Indian parliament is a bicameral and consists of two houses named Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Union Executive comprises of the President of India and the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. The third organ is the judiciary. The highest apex court of India is the Supreme Court of India, which has maximum 31 judges headed by the Chief Justice of India. So here are the three organs of the government by which mainly the function of the country is taken. Children, this chapter is very important to all of you because in the coming years you would also be the very responsible citizen of India in respect of having a voting right. In coming 4 to 5 years, I think you all will be eligible to cast your vote. So you must know the structure of our government from this level only, from class 8 level. And this structure should be very clear also, not only known for the sake of question answers, but for the sake of knowledge. Like you all know the names of your uncle, aunt, father, grandfather, maternal. Similarly, this is also the part of the government, country. So this should be very clear to all of you. These things should not be summed or learned. These should be read and grasped in your mind for forever. Now students, here we come to the next topic, that to ensure that the union and the state governments have a definite jurisdiction of legislative powers without any conflict or overlapping of functioning, the makers of our constitution enumerated and divided all the subjects on which laws could be made into three lists, and these are union list, the state list, and concurrent list. So this was categorized in three headings just to avoid any conflict, any kind of argumentative situation between the governments. These things we are doing, these things and the things especially in this chapter are categorizing the work of the government itself at the three levels. No individual work is defined in this chapter. All the 97 subjects of the union list are of national importance. So how many subjects come under union list? 97. Only the parliament has the exclusive power to legislate on them. Some of the subjects in the union list are defense, foreign affairs, war, peace, railways, post offices, currency, foreign exchange, etc. The state list contains 66 subjects like police, local government, public health and sanitization, agriculture, forest, etc. So these are the subjects which are dealt by each state individually for his own state. The state legislature has exclusive power to make laws on these subjects, but in certain circumstances the parliament can also make laws on the subjects mentioned in the state list. So these are the 97 subjects, 66 subjects, and the next upcoming concurrent list. The third list is the concurrent list, which has 52 subjects and includes subjects such as marriage and divorce, transfer of property other than agriculture land, adulteration of foodstuffs, drugs and medicines, labor, welfare, etc. The Parliament as well as the state legislature both may make laws on the subjects enlisted in the concurrent list. But in case of conflict, the central law prevails over the state laws. The subjects not included in the above mentioned three lists or any such matter will arise with the passage of time comes under the centre and the Parliament can make laws on it. Sub-subjects are called residuary subjects. So residuary subjects are those subjects which are not meant in all the three lists and they arise due to passage of time. Suppose computer software and hardware, e-commerce, information technology, etc. are some examples of residuary subjects. Let us now study the three main organs of the Union government. Organs. We again now will talk about the main organs of the Union government. And in this chapter, we will study about the Union legislature only. So we have the three organs, the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. But this chapter is covering the legislature part in detail. So children, please watch the video once again and read the chapter.